Good morning, students. So, in the last class, we discussed about principles of treatment and principles of prevention. So, this is the last topic of this chapter, that methods to prevent diseases. What the measures or measures we can take to prevent the infectious diseases. So, specifically, two types of prevention we can take. So the general two ways to prevent diseases is the general ways of preventing infectious disease, and second, the specific ways of preventing infectious disease. So what are the general ways of preventing disease? So the most related the mostly related to prevent exposure to infectious microbes. If you will not get exposure to those infectious microbes, you will not fall ill, you will not fall sick. So basically, the general prevention, you should avoid such places. You should so automatically you get prevented from those infectious agents or microbes, such as few diseases as airborne diseases. Airborne disease means what? Which are spread through air. No, so airborne diseases, what you can do is for airborne diseases you can avoid the overcrowded areas. You should be in a proper ventilated area. So you can so by taking this type of preventive measures, you should avoid this airborne diseases. Second, the waterborne diseases often caused with the help of this dirty unclean water. You should clean the water, or you should always drink the treated water, which is being coming through the water treatment plant, or chlorinated water. You should drink all these clean water to avoid, or you can say, to prevent this infectious diseases. And third types of diseases are the vector borne diseases. You should maintain the proper hygiene. Proper public hygiene is necessary, or you can say the proper neat and clean environment is there. So automatically the mosquitoes will not get breed over there. So automatically you can prevent it from the infectious disease. So these are the general measures you can take for preventing this infectious disease. So you can you can take this general measure to prevent the airborne disease, waterborne disease, and vector-borne disease. Okay. So some other principles for prevention are strong immune system. Students, we are having the antibodies in our own body, or we can say the antibodies in our own body, which fight against the antigens, or which fights against the foreign microbes. If any microbes infect against us, our immune system automatically start fighting against that antigen. So it is very important to strong our immune system, so that it can fight against the foreign antigen or foreign microbes. Next, you should always eat a proper balanced diet, because proper balanced diet, or you can say the proper nutrition, only provide to boost your immunity, to boost your immune system, that they can fight against the foreign microbes or antigens. Okay. So these are the general principle for prevention of diseases. Next, the specific ways to prevent infectious disease. What are the specific ways? So first, you can take the immunization. First, you have to know what is the basic principle behind this word. What do you mean by this immunization? Immunization, when an immune system first sees an infectious microbes, it responds against it and then remembers it specifically. See, suppose students, when any antigen or foreign microbes attacks in your body, your body fights against it and starts and raise its immune system and starts fighting against that foreign antibody or microbes. Okay, and the memory cells are also present in our body that recognizes that proper antigen or proper bacteria or proper virus. Okay, so once first sees an infection microbe, it responds against it and it remembers it specifically. It fight against that antigen and remembers also it specifically. So next time when the particular microbe or its close relative get infected, enter into the body, the immune system responds with the greater vigor or with the greater efficiency. Okay, if the same bacteria or the same viruses or the structure similar, somehow the structure of the bacteria or viruses similar to that the same antigen or bacteria, if again the second time it again infects your body, our body starts fighting it against with a greater vigor, or you can say with a greater efficiency. So in the second time it eliminates the infection more quickly than the first time around. Thus, it is the basic principle of immunization that the first time any antigen can affect us more vigorously, but in the second time our immune system responds against it very vigorously, or you can say very effectively. So once a disease occur, if once a disease, if any, if we get if we get infected to any specific type of microbes, second time the possibility of the infection is very low. Okay, so this is the basic principle of immunization. I can just explain this immunization with the help of an example, that is a smallpox. Nowadays the smallpox is vanished, or you can say eliminated out, or you can say eradicated from the world. But 100 years ago it was a epidemic of this diseases, of this disease all around. Okay, but it was observed that some peoples are already immune to this disease, this smallpox, that is very, you know, very dangerous disease. So a small it was observed that a group of people are already immune to the smallpox. So the group of those peoples, even if they are taking care of the infected victims, even if they are taking care of this infected victims, they are they are with them, but also that diseases, that smallpox is not causing to them. They are already immune to that disease. What was that? It was observed that the Edward Jenner scientists studied this and observed that those peoples are the group of peoples are milkmaids. Okay, so this they already go through this disease called as cowpox. That is a very small, or you can say the mild infection. That structure resembles with that of smallpox. From there only this principle came out from, that he observed that the principle he observed that that group of people already suffering from that, already get suffered and recovered from that disease that is called as cowpox. Okay, so so he thought that if once a cowpox is infected to any person, he is not he get immune to the smallpox also. As I said you now, once any infectious microbes, if once our body sees any infectious microbes, it responds against and now remembers it specifically. The same it happens with the smallpox bacteria also. Once any person is affected with the cowpox bacteria, its structure is somehow resembling to that of smallpox bacteria. So it remembers it specifically, and at the second time it fight against it more vigorously, or you can say more efficiently. So that is how the vaccine of smallpox had discovered at that time. Basically, the name is coming from the cow pox. That is from this name only. Vaccination is come from this name only. Cow means what? The cow means at the time the cow means vacca. Actually, the word vaccination, vacca means cow. Okay, in Latin. And cowpox from vaccinia. Okay, so from there this vaccination word is coming out from. I'm just next time I will explain you about the vaccination. So students, next we will study about vaccination. As I just explained you, it is coming from the Latin word vaccinia, means cowpox, vacca means cow. It is the process of injecting dead microbes in the body, or you can say the inactive microbes in the body of a healthy person in order to develop immunity against a particular disease caused by that microbe. As I explained you now, actually during the vaccination we are causing prior infection to that specific kind of microbe. If a body once recognize the first infection, as I explained you now, if body recognizes the infection about that particular or specific kind of microbes, and the microbe similar to that of the structure, the second time it will work, it will fight against more effectively. In the same principle, it will also work. We are infecting our body prior to an microbe that our body can develop immunity against it. Vaccination is a preparation of weakened or killed infectious agent or their products. Or you can say in vaccination you use weakened or killed infectious microbes or sometimes the inactive infectious microbes to your body, as that your cell can recognize it in the second time. They stimulate the immune system, and when they stimulate the immune system, our immune system work more effectively against it. To produce, they stimulate the immune system to produce antibody against particular disease. The first vaccine was discovered by the scientist named Edward Jenner. That now only I explained you about that cowpox vaccine, about the smallpox vaccine that is developed with the help of that disease that is called as cowpox. No, from that cowpox disease, the vaccine of smallpox has been developed by the scientist named Edward Jenner against smallpox disease. So now also in market many vaccinations are available like diphtheria, but you have to remember all these names. Okay, the first injection is given to the child, that is DPT, that is against the diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus. You have to remember all these four important vaccines name. This often come in your exam, and this is very important topic. Often you have to learn it, remember it, all these names. Diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus, poliomyelitis, that is OPV, that is polio vaccine, oral polio vaccine. Next is hepatitis B, hepatitis vaccine, tuberculosis, that is BCG. BCG's full form is Bacillus calmette-guerin. Okay, so these are many vaccines which are available in the market, and basically students, these vaccinations are come under the child immunization program. In a particular age of a child, these vaccines should be given to that child, that the child get already immune to these types of diseases. Okay, so basically the hepatitis A is also available in the market. Hepatitis virus cause jaundice, that is caused due to this infected water through, you can say, this get transmitted through water. So it is useless if you are giving the vaccine after 5 years. So in the proper time the vaccine should be given to the children, that they can fight against that diseases, or you can say they get already immune to the particular microbes, that these kind of diseases will not infect them. So this is all about this chapter, why do we fall in. So today we completed this chapter. Okay, thank you students.